Have you ever felt like your business owns you instead of the other way around? You're working longer hours than ever, solving every problem yourself, and somehow freedom feels farther away than when you had a regular job. If that sounds familiar, the E-Myth Revisited digs into exactly why it happens. The link is in the description. The first question the book asks is surprisingly simple. Is your business stuck because it can't function without you? Are you working harder every year without gaining more freedom? Does every day feel like putting out fires instead of building something bigger? And have you wondered whether your business could ever become valuable enough to sell? These aren't separate problems, as they're connected symptoms of the same underlying issue. If you're trying to understand why businesses struggle to scale instead of simply working harder, subscribe. This channel breaks down one book like this every week. The book's central argument really begins in Chapter 2, where Michael Gerber introduces what he calls the entrepreneurial myth. Most businesses aren't started by entrepreneurs at all. They're started by technicians, people who are excellent at baking, repairing cars, designing websites, or cutting hair. The mistake is assuming that being skilled at the work automatically means you'll be skilled at building a company. Those are completely different abilities. The chapter makes the case that confusing the two is what traps owners inside businesses they've created themselves. And that's the first domino. Once that confusion takes hold, another problem appears. Chapter 3 explains that every owner actually has three jobs: the entrepreneur who imagines the future, the manager who creates order, and the technician who does the work. Most people spend almost all their time wearing only the technician hat. Working in the business feels productive, but working on the business is what creates growth. When one person becomes the bottleneck, the business can never grow beyond that person's time and energy. If you've experienced that feeling of becoming your own company's biggest limitation, I'd love to hear about it in the comments because it's incredibly common. This is exactly where systems enter the picture. In Chapter 8, Gerber introduces the idea of building your business like a franchise prototype. That doesn't mean opening franchises tomorrow. It means documenting every important process so the business can produce consistent results no matter who performs the work. If only you know how everything operates, you don't really own a scalable business. You've created a demanding job for yourself. Every new employee has to relearn everything from scratch, and growth simply multiplies the chaos instead of reducing it. But even documented systems aren't enough if they never improve. Chapter 11 argues that businesses grow through a continuous cycle of innovation, measurement, and systematic refinement. New ideas without measuring results quickly become guesswork. Systems that exist only in someone's head can't be improved consistently because nobody can evaluate them objectively. The book doesn't just encourage improvement, it explains why consistent improvement has to become part of how the business itself operates. Ignore that long enough, and eventually the person who pays the price is the owner. That brings the entire argument back to where the book started. High small business failure rates aren't usually caused by bad luck alone. They're often the result of owners staying trapped in technician mode, working harder than any employee while gaining less freedom. Chapter 1 makes the case that changing this mindset is where real business growth begins. The technician trap, the missing balance between roles, the lack of systems, and the absence of continuous improvement all point back to the same root cause. And that's really the heart of the E-Myth Revisited. Staying the technician means your income, your growth, and your business all depend on you personally showing up every day. Skipping systems means nothing can consistently run without your direct involvement. And if nothing works without you, you're not building something that can outlast you or eventually be sold. You've simply built yourself another full-time job. That's the mental shift this book develops in depth, and the link is in the description if you want to explore its full argument. Thanks for spending these few minutes with me. I hope this gave you a different way to think about what it really means to own a business. If you enjoy thoughtful breakdowns like this, turn on notifications and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.